And we're live! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I have a fantastic stream planned for you. Today we're going to build a PC. Well, here we have all the components. The motherboard is a... well, I can show you the specs actually. The motherboard's a MSI MBG X570 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi. And we're going with a Ryzen 7 5800X that is cooled by a Noctua NH-U12S, that is right here. Then we went with 32 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz Corsair Vengeance LPX, a Corsair Force MP400, 2 terabyte SSD, NVMe SSD. Yeah, it's PCIe Gen 3. There would be Gen 4, but that would have been about $100 more expensive, which is totally pointless considering we're running a GTX 1660 Super Ventus XSOC edition from MSI, and this is all powered by a 750 watt 80 plus gold power supply, a Seasonic Focus GX to be precise. And I might need to check. Oh, actually, I almost fell over the table, just ridiculous. If everything is going fine. And let's see. Alright. Right up here. Oh, up here. There are also the specs of this system. So you can check them out. And we also went with a... be quiet. Are you choking me, Cam? We went with a Be Quiet Pure Base 600. And yeah, there's also a power cord for Switzerland because, well, most of the power supply manufacturers will only deliver German plugs. And they obviously do not work in Switzerland because why should they? Yeah. And also there are addressed there's all in the boxes, and we also have a additional DVD drive because, well, they still use DVD drives. It's a PC that I built for my parents. And for that reason, well, we're using that again. And I'm after this going to try and figure out what the problem is with the camera that it's occasionally switching off. So I'm going to just put away everything that I do not need right now, because I need to have a lot more space to work with, especially the power supply, and the RAM SSD will need very shortly, as well as the CPU cooler. That's why I did not put everything as far away as I might have done. So, this is a pretty nice board. It supports two M.2 M key slots, so NVMe slots. There are still some boards out there, especially some AMD boards that do not feature two NVMe slots. And one of those is wired via SATA over PCIe, which is, well, certainly pointless because, believe it or not, SATA is slow. So, also, a good suggestion that you hear from a lot of people that build PCs: use the motherboard box. It's not conductive. And we're after gonna ground ourselves on something metal. I'm just checking on where I should ground myself. Oh, I found something. Or here. So there's a sticker from MSI that MSI just delivered because why not? The disk of drivers, we will not use that one because I brought a memo stick down here to all the most recent drivers. On here there are not the most recent drivers, which would be ridiculous to install them because, yeah, we can download the newest ones from the MSI website either way. So we're gonna put that away for now. Then there are some accessories, the Wi-Fi antennas, because it's a Wi-Fi supporting motherboard. We're not gonna use that right just now either. And there's also I think it's a rainbow extension cable. We're not gonna use that either, not at all, because there's legit no RGB in this case, except the motherboard has a little, if I'm not mistaken. Two SATA cables, we're going to use them later on. I might not do that on the stream yet because we still need to figure out some stuff. Here, I guess that's an M.2 screw. Yeah, it's an M.2 screw. and some manual, which we obviously do not care about. Well, let's certainly take it out, but just to be sure, but that I'm not gonna mess anything up. And now let's unpack it. The nice thing about this board is it does also have the I/O shield already installed, so you cannot forget about that, which is real nice. And afterwards be peeling, well, we will not be peeling the case because it will not have any, most likely not have any peels on it, because it's a case without glass. It doesn't have this glass side, which is sad, but because we don't have any RGB anyway, that should not be a big issue. But the motherboard does have peels. I will leave that for now because we do want to protect everything as much as possible. So that's a $450 processor, and I might genuinely need to get myself some scissors. Come on. Are you choking me, Cam? What in the world is going on? I will take a look at that just in a second. So, usually AMD CPUs come with a CPU cooler, but not the case anymore. In most of the 5000 series processors, I believe the 5600X would come with a CPU cooler, but I'm not even sure if that's sufficient for such a powerful processor. I think it's about 75 watts. This one here is rated at 105 watts, which means we will need a beefy cooler. Luckily, Noctua makes really great coolers. That's the NH-U12S, and the NH-U9S would have worked potentially, but not really good, because a friend of mine built his PC with a NH-U9S, which is it's just like the smaller brother of this one here, because it has a 92mm fan instead of a 120, which this one here features. And on the Noctua webpage, where the compatibility center and the performance page, metrics page, there you can see it's not as great as it could be. But this is a whole other story. So that one here works really great. I mean, only an D15 would be better than that one. Obviously, because the D15 has a 150mm fan or something like that. It's a crazy air cooler that outperforms some liquid coolers. So, yeah. So this thing here is a PGA socket, because AMD is still on PGA, but as we might expect from the leaks we have seen from the AL5 socket, this thing will AMD will change to LGA as well, as I told us already on for a bunch of years. I think it's almost a decade now. I mean, we still know that the LGA 775. That's already the first class. I think that's the first LGA socket from Intel. So we're gonna grab this thing here from the sides. Check for the golden triangle, or the other one is right here on the sides, and on the motherboard it's right here. So we'll just pop this puppy in here, give it a little wiggle, and then we're gonna secure it, and this is it. So we're obviously gonna take out the Ryzen sticker. Well, I'm gonna actually leave it in there, and then I'm gonna put it over there. And just drop our address into this box here again, and put this thing aside. And then we're gonna pop that sticker onto the case later on, because we need to flex with a Ryzen processor because I do not like Intel. Even though Intel does make great processors, undeniably, and I just realized I'm sort of stupid because I left the overlay on the screen. I'm sorry for that. So next off, we could either install the RAM, and here that's cool because MSI does note down on the motherboard itself. That's why I was not sure if that's noted on that one. If that's noted on that specific motherboard, I took out the manual because in the manual it's always noted which slots to populate first. Usually it's the outermost and the second, and then one leftover, and then the next one to populate first, and then the other two. Never populate 3. That's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, and then we're just gonna. That's a one-latch motherboard system, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that's the wrong thing. The wrong ones. Yeah, it's a one-latch one. So then we're gonna pop that out and get those two guys. The RAM. That is 37 megahertz. I think it's CL14 if I'm not mistaken. Really great RAM. It was not even that expensive for 32 gigs. We paid, I think, 163 Swiss francs, which is pretty reasonable for that speed of RAM and also the capacity, especially the capacity. There would have been a cheaper one, for example, the G2 Trident C. That was currently on discount, but it would have taken a couple of days to arrive here, and my dad was very impatient. So yeah, we're now going to Vengeance, which Vengeance is about the same performance, or generally potentially even better. We're going to align the notch here. All right, I'm not fine with you. Jeez, am I putting it wrong? No. Good. That's in there. Second one is open. We're going to align the pins or the notch on the bottom of it, and then we're just going to pop it in here and press it down and secure it with that. Notch is slapped in, and perfect. Install RAM. And now, because that's a PCIe Gen 3 SSD, we could also populate the bottom slot, but why should we do? Because we have better cooling on the top here, because we have the heat shield that is connected to the CPU, the chipset cooler, which would cool down also the SSD. That means we have a slightly better performance, which means we have to take that thing out, and I hope I have the right screwdriver here. Otherwise we'll have some laying down there, or go out to the garage real quick. Whatever I got a message here. I got some message. I do not know what it is, from who it is. I just got a random WhatsApp message, which is funny. I wouldn't even know from where it would have come. Oh. Thanks gosh for magnetic screwdrivers. We're just going to pop them in here. Okay, that one is fully removed. So the thing is all right. Okay, that's a captive screw there, which is all right. So this thing here has also the possibility to install a 11 centimeter SSD, but this thing here is obviously just a box standard 2280 SSD form factor, which is well, it's just that screw, that knob here, which is good. I don't know if I've needed to move it inwards to one and would have used 60 or the 30 standard, but yeah, we're not doing so because they have way worse performance and not as big of a capacity. That's what they generally use in laptops. That's why laptop NVMe SSDs have terrible performance compared to a laptop. Am I serious right now? No, compared to a desktop SSD. So the Corsair MP400, it's a typical Gen 3 SSD of 2 terabytes. It's the one that goes up to 8 terabytes, the series, and begins at 1 terabyte, other than the P600, which would be the way faster variant of this thing here, which have a very thick and beefy cooler on it, which means we cannot install it in the fast slot, which means we are limited to PCIe Gen 3, which is flipping bad. And that's what a friend of mine did. He put it in the bottom here. So tomorrow I will head to him and help him with stripping out SSD down and putting it in to the upper slot. Okay, I accidentally tried to open it from the opposite side. It wasn't supposed. I was not supposed to do it. So we're aligning the notch, putting that thing in there. It would be competent enough. And now we do not actually need to secure it, but where did I put that screw? Yes, box. Look at us. Can't do this. Processor socket, metal cover, so that we do not plumb up anything. Get out of here. No, we're not actually convinced. That's made for Hello Cam. Yeah, I need to fix that for next stream. We're not actually gonna do it that way. We're just gonna secure it with the thermal pad. So the thermal pad removed, and we're gonna align it from here. And then we're gonna screw it down. Alright, I might need to put it in first correctly. And what the? Oh, I see. Need to peel that first. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that peel. This peel here did stop this cover here from going in. Oh gosh, I'm scared. Because that thing here did sound like a clack or whatever, and then I just like, what happened here? But it was just totally a little plastic piece that scared the life out of me. I'm kind of serious, I know. Alright, then over here we have 6 SATA ports, which is nice, and a USB 3 port. This is from the USB 3 port, it is aligned sideways, which means we have some better options for cable routing, because I think this case has a cable management holes right on the side here, so we can do the PCIe and the ATX 24-pin cable directly to the backside and do some real great cable management. Then yes, then we're done with that, and put everything back where it came from, just because I can, so that I do not mess everything up. And at the end, when I'm trying to Jesus Christ, when I'm trying to figure out what manual came from what, yeah, then it's just easier. And also we're gonna peel this thing right here. It looks awesome, this motherboard, I need to say, really. And also I think there's RGB strips on here, if I'm not mistaken, and it has like a really nice glow shade, depending on where you're putting it. I'm not even sure anymore, but I already saw it once. So the obvious next thing is to put this a little aside, and then we're gonna go for cooler. I mean, now I could have put RAM in last, but usually we go first with RAM, SSD, or SSD RAM. That doesn't matter. And then we're gonna go with the cooler. But it doesn't really matter. You can do it either way. SSD and RAM, whichever way you prefer. I mean, you could also already put the motherboard into the case first, which would be sort of stupid, but I mean you could. So we're gonna use the AM400 bracket. Oh, it has already the mounting bracket installed for the for the stock cooler, yeah. Or there's like that's cool, like a batch from Noctua. Nonetheless, that's certainly not being needed right now. I'm just putting it on the desk where my laptop is standing, where I'm streaming from, and well, then we're gonna need some screws and the backplate. That's the Intel. Am I right? That's them. Oh man, I'm just confused right now. I've never actually installed that particular cooler. I will need to. Real quick. The fan will be needed afterwards. That's okay. Oh, AMD is just oh, I see. Oh gosh. Obviously. I need a big screwdriver. Where is that one? Oh, it's here. You know what? That's a little dirty. We use that outside. Like that. No, that's like the box stand. That's the mounting hardware for the stock cooler that you can install on the motherboard as well, because you just hook it in here and then just clip it down on the other side, or vice versa. Yeah, and now we need to take that down, because Noctua does obviously not use that. The cooler design here is like that's some real good things. And yeah, I'm not fancy for getting the thermal paste. And I'm not gonna lift the motherboard up right now because I do not want to reinstall the backplate. When for Intel it's even worse, because you need to first install the backplate yourself. So that's off now. Switch it. Then let's see which ones we do need. Alright. That's the Intel bracket. I'm not gonna use today because oh yeah, it looks very much Intel-like. But it's actually the entire Intel mounting hardware. Oops. That's the AMD, I think. Yeah. Everything off. Gonna need to clean up all the mess I'm creating right now. After I will also install these rubber edges of the on the fan, because then it's gonna emit even then it's gonna be required to emit way less noise than it does in this configuration. So, better do not mess it up, because we want the manual. That's Intel LJ1151. I think that's LJ20. That's for the extra edition. Or 20. It could also be the normal, the 10th and 11th gen Intel processor. Yeah, I would have been saying that. Just to be safe. Just to be on the safe side. I certainly do not want to mess up. Remove that. AM4. So these screws we're not going to use. We're going to just keep them anyway because, well, why throw away these? Okay, the white ones are for AM3 and the gray ones are for AM4. So right. And Intel has a way more complex mechanism. But that one I was familiar with. That one I know how it works. But that's yeah. So secure it first and take the hello. Alright, and take the next one and install it right here. So, and then screw the rest in. I'm not going to use that screwdriver because that's a little too large. That needs to be tightened quite a bit because otherwise it might come loose and not provide the correct mounting pressure for the CPU cooler. And now I need to find the other screw if it fell down or what it did. And this should have flipped. Why is the input bracket out here? I do not know. Wait. Okay. So we have both screws here. So you just basically have two holes here. One of those, the other one is for the AM3 socket or AM2 or AM3 plus, whatever, for all the old CPUs. And the one that is closer is for AM4. So that's fairly simple to get your head around. So just go ahead and pop it here and also pop on this little spacer here, this plastic spacer. The gray ones, because the white ones are for AM3 as well, or AM2 and lower, and then pop the screw and tighten it down. So, put that stuff away. And now there's oh, that's the one with the fan cables, I think. Fan mounter, some double-sided tape or whatever we would need that. Oh, that's actually some that's certainly not needed. I'm not Linus, but I still drop everything. Alright, on Ryzen, that's important to know how to apply thermal paste. Just do not use only a small bit of just do use a little bit of thermal paste, not just like nothing at all, pretty much. Because there are people out there, as was a friend of mine, he used like a small PL thermal paste that is bad for your CPU, it's going to run very hot. Then I just instructed him to reapply the thermal paste, and then he just used the line method, which is the normal box standard thermal paste application method you use in Ryzen, or the cross. Yeah, there should be a very gentle on the application of the thermal paste, because otherwise it's going to be way too much and then it's going to go all over the socket, and what you do not want, certainly. And I think actually the biggest challenge building a PC is unboxing all the stuff, because I'm now very much struggling getting out the cooler. Oh, there we go. Gosh, like legitimately. Everything else was very straightforward, but figuring out how to get this god-ass cooler out of its box. I mean, right? I mean, we're now pretty much done. As soon as I have installed the cooler, and we're pretty much done with installing the CPU. And yes, I'm not yet applying the thermal paste, because I do not actually want that there's any like dust or such going in, which would be suboptimal. I'm sorry for that. So that's also gonna go. Also gonna go. All right. So Noctua has that real cool feature that they have a very good mounting mechanism for their fans, and yeah, that's an extension cable if that cable might be too short, but it's certainly not going to be, because we're going to have a very hard time getting that cable tucked away. I will need now to take a little thought about how we're going to orient it. Well, obviously, the cooler is going to work that way anyway. Yeah. Okay. No complaints here. So just check that this thing here is very clean. The cold plate. I'm going to put that cover on back on, and then I'm going to lay it down. And fan can go down here. The mounting hardware for the stock cooler can go somewhere where it's not in the way, but it's still safe. Alright, we're gonna pull that one closer to us. Oh, that's just replacements, or am I right? Yeah, that's just replacements. If you would need to get some replacement of these. Yeah, no, Noctua fans are very, very awful, but Noctua does great fans, so if you're onto aesthetics, then go with the Chromax Black version. I mean, alright, but still, the case is closed, we do not care. And even my friend of mine has this box standard U12S, and he has a window. I mean, alright. Why not? Am I too stupid? How do we... Oh no, never mind. The one. Ah! There we go. I was definitely too stupid. So, get it closed up again. Why ever I'm not getting how to open up that thermal paste, and I have it all over my fingers. Do not try to avoid that. You're gonna have a very hard time getting it off. Anyway, that's that now. It looks horrendous, my application, but I think that should be enough. I'm more like Gamers Nexus style, and I think if there can never be too much thermal paste. So we're just gonna put some more. Just a little dot. I'm afraid that I'm not applying enough thermal paste. I need to clean it up, and I know it's awful to do that. I can help that for sure. I need to clean up my hands. Jesus. Anyway. No, I'm actually gonna do the correct a little bit. Give me a second. Alright. So it went somewhat off. So I'm gonna wait real quick till you can see it. Because alright. That's a screwdriver that delivers with every single cooler. Alright, let's go. You know what? I just want to use a normal screwdriver. Oh, I knew it. Oh yeah, now it's tightening. Yeah, I'm just hiding behind the motherboard to see. Good. That should, yeah, give it a little wiggle. See if it's wobbling around a lot, then you might need to tighten it down a little more. And if you see like very bad thermal results, then just try to tighten down the cooler a little more. I mean, like thermal results that are not within margin of error. Yeah, that's supposed to be right, but screwdriver can be put over here, as well as the rest of the accessories of the cooler. So then, not your typical. You have these brackets on the side here. I don't know if you can see it really good, but there are some, like, I'm just watching on my laptop, by the way, so you don't not be confused by I'm watching over directly. So we can either go for take the fresh air from the back, which means we would go intake on the back side, which would be a very bad idea because the GPU just exhausts it to the back. Or we go in from the front. Or we could go pull in, but then I would need to reconfigure the fan, which I do not want to. And it would also look awful, and so we're gonna go push through the fan, through the fins here, on the CPU fan header here. Let's think how we would arrange it best. Okay, we need to do it that way. But oh, what the heck? Oh, I need to pull that. Alright, first I'll plug that in. The right way around. Come on, and there. CPU fan installed. And then I will now later on check out how to route it best. Actually, we're going to mount it a little higher up, just to be on the safe side. So it's flush, oh, not pretty much. This is not even installed evenly. So that's installed. So it's flush with that. And now we need to think about how we tuck away that cable. I guess we're just gonna. Yeah, I'm sorry, my capture card is very cheap, so I did not install that correctly. Alrighty. Like that maybe. Actually, cable management is not the biggest concern in this build here. I'm still gonna try and make an A+ chop in it. Or just an A. Gosh, I got scared about that stupid peel again. So that shouldn't be a concern because that RAM slot is not populated anyway, and we're just gonna push a cable right over. Should not make a big difference. You do it anyway. Oh, let's do it over the screw there, and then we have it tucked away a little better. So then I'm going to clean up here a little more to get everything ready for the big boy, the case, and I'm going to put the motherboard aside. Yeah, here's still my iPad where I'm controlling off my let's check on the chat if there's anything in the chat. No. And where I'm controlling off my Streamlabs, because I'm using Streamlabs OBS, I can use Streamlabs Remote, which is very great. So I don't need to go over there to my laptop, which is a good thing. I do like Streamlabs OBS, and also hate it. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I should scare this option. I know we're going to need it very soon, but first of all, we need to unbox this. So we went with the Be Quiet Pure Base 600, the non-window edition, because well, the PC is just standing below the desk, and my dad is not anything into RGB, but he still plays a lot of Flight Sim, or stuff like that. Plays Flight Sim, I do as well, and so it's nice to and also video editing, and which is like the biggest concern why we went with I got the 5800X for him, or I told him to buy the 5800X. Because that's just like a very good CPU that also has a very high single core performance, which is also required for Ryzen. And that's the thing why we didn't go with a 3800 XT or the 3700X, which also have 8 cores, but that is, oh gosh, that does not feature the modern features like smart access memory as well as smart access memory, which is, I think, is supported on the GTX 1660 Super, but correct me if I'm wrong. I could genuinely be wrong. But and also like way lower single core performance. It boosts a little lower. It has a little lower base clock than the 3800 XT, but that should not be an issue. Get out of here, guys. Oh, I see what's more. Come out. So, back down here. Get it. I think this thing even has a power supply slot. Goodbye. And it has very good ventilation from the bottom, so we can bottom mount and let the fan of the power supply. I'm getting serious. And let the fan of the power supply face downwards, which has many advantages. First off, we do not use any of the airflow we have in the case itself, and it runs cooler. So we're gonna pop off. Oh, nice captive screws. Then we have like, I think there's like to remove this top panel. Do not ask me how that works, but I read about that when I was configuring the PC. But this thing has like a removable top panel or whatever that switch here does. So in terms of front I/O, we have 2 USB 3.0 ports, microphone headphone jack, power button with power LED integrated in it. I think it's a arrow light and the hard drive light and whatever that is. I think that might be a BIOS switch thing for fan control. Nicely insulated in here. By the way, it's be quiet. As you might have seen from the packaging. I hope you can actually hear me good. And well, because I do not want to break anything, and we're gonna obviously lay it down on the sides. And this thing has, by the way, 2.5-inch base up top. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I thought it would. Yeah, it's taking in the air from the front. I'm not sure. And it's a pure veins. Oh, nice. 120 and 140 mil fan is installed already in here. I will afterwards take another camera and show you around inside. There are also some accessories. Might just be some screws. Come on! Oh, there we go. A lot of screws. All right. So some screws. over here. And what are we gonna do first? I think we're gonna reroute the cables here, and afterwards need to get some zip ties. But it's nice to have a 140mm in the front, and I will remove one of the hard drive cages because we're not using all of them. I think I actually can remove 2 of the hard drive cages. Where are the SSD slots? There's 2 M.2 slots, SATA slots at the back here. Both are removable, which is wow. Oh, that's done just for mounting. But alright, or they might generally also be removable. And yeah, I think I will remove some of those. It's gonna take a while to cable management to cable management. Jeez, how to cable manage? Jesus Lord. Now let's pick up the motherboard. That is right over here. Oh no, I just should maybe check on the standoffs. Oh, that's nice. Big does also support that apparently. The little knob here to hold in the motherboard in the right place. Because for example, Corsair does have that as well. So you just pop in the motherboard, and if you're building in the upright position, I'm gonna be building that in this position because it's way safer for the motherboard not dropping down. For obvious reasons. Is it on the standoffs? Not quite. Now it should be. Yes, now it is. Yeah, now it is. So, what else? There's also a cable tie here. Or a couple of them. Nice. We're gonna use that afterwards because we're gonna just first off install the motherboard. Is that peel on it? Nope. Okay. Because otherwise I needed to remove motherboard again. Motherboard screws. Not perfectly aligned yet. Ah, no, that's good. So I'm just screwing it by hand, screwing it in by with my hands because initially it's easier. It says, why doesn't it line up perfectly? Oh, because I was too stupid to insert the motherboard fully. Right. So capping. We might generally here because my dad is not down here. He's working outside. We might generally hear that. Yeah, now the screws line up. I just put in the 4H screws because well, that's those ones that need to line up in order for it to be installable. And if those ones are aligned, the other ones will as well. So okay, that one is good. Jesus, it says 9 standoff deleted. Never mind, let it go. Alright. Oh, I was just too dumb to find the other two screw mounting holes that it has. One up is up right at the top of the motherboard. I will afterwards show it to you. Alright, there's one additional right next to the I/O slots. I'm doing it in a weird order, but whatever. And additional one, and there's some two spares. If I'm about this, this screw needs to be tightened down as well. Wait, this time tightened down. All right. Come on. So the motherboard is tightened down. Then I will, let's just move that stuff out of the way. And now comes the interesting part. The power supply. That's like the most time consuming part. Is that thing not? Oh, I did not install it fully. I'm dumb. Now the CPU fan is holding it correctly. All right. Alright, you can see the motherboard is installed, and there's this whole tree of cables hanging down here, and just gonna revoke the power, the cable management, because I think it's awful. Why in the bird are you? I'm gonna just turn around the case and we're gonna be working from the front side here. I hope you can still see something. Oh, is that controlled by this? Honestly, what the? Do they really have manual fan control enabled at the front? Alright, that's USB 3. That's the well, reset, power LED, hard disk LED. Why is there anyway, there's Where did they go? Alright. Then we have front panel audio, HG audio, audio. Then we have the fan connector here. Or we can actually hook up third fans. It's a fan controller. But honestly, what the F are you doing? Be quiet. I might generally deactivate that feature because it's stupid. Yeah, sort of, because it will just adjust the fan curves, which is actually not that stupid if you think about it. I will leave it like that. So we're only using one single USB 3.2 header on the motherboard. That's alright. And we will not use oh, you can drag the cables around the back here, which is great. I'm just removing a hard drive. So this is just two this one of the hard drive pages, and another one. But I do not. It's Jesus Lord. Gosh. Thumb screws that do hurt the thumbs. I do not like it. That is all right. Those are like tuck away. Yeah. So those cables again. No, know what? You're gonna just see me from my laptop webcam. No. I would love to have I'm just gonna activate my laptop camera quick so that I can change the settings. That is on the camera. Where is that? There should be a automatic off somewhere, but oh jeez, how am I not able to find it? Alright, I need to figure that out for the next stream. Alright. So we need to get the power supply. Now let's see if it does not fall over. All the stuff is laying around the ground, all the cables for a laptop because no batteries are there. And the camera, that it doesn't run out of battery. My iPad, that it doesn't run out of battery when I use it. And, well, then later on the PC as well. It's actually somebody watching. I'm not even sure. So, for those tuning in new, well, we're building a PC, a gaming and work PC, and we're just going to talk about it. and there's a whole tree hanging out of it. I'm just gonna first take a look at the power supply. There's like a giveaway for a $50 Steam e-gift card. Alright. The manual. And yes, that's pretty much it. Oh, I see, I forgot about the screws. I still need the power screws. And yeah. I first was like confused what these other screws are. And then I just now realized that it's the PSU screws. They will be used obviously. Oh, some other ties, some cable ties. I like it. Good thing, Seasonic. Then the power supply is over here, and on the other side there's oh, that's the trickery thingy for getting the power supply to turn on if you do not use the ATX 24 pin. And well, then we have all the modular cables here. Yeah, and there's also the German power cord, which we legitimately can throw away because we don't. Jeez, I almost threw something off the keyboard that's sitting right over there. Yeah, and there's that thing. They look pretty nice, admittedly. No, actually, gonna put it back in there. And first, I'm gonna search for the cable. Let me check real quick. Alright, so my phone's here. Well, we should actually put it there again. So the office we're gonna use is you know what? That's what scissors were invented for. I might need to interrupt the stream later on, and then I will just start a new stream later on. Then after I got lunch. So that's the EPS. That's what we're gonna need. Then well, let's say Molex to SATA adapter. So I mean a single Molex 4-pin to dual SATA adapter. That might be used because we only have two SATA devices. Well, actually, we're not going to use that because one of them is hardware, the other one is a SATA SSD that we're going to put in very, very later. That's a 8 plus 2 pin PCIe power cable. I'm going to use that as a and another one. Or it's actually the pigtail version, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. This is a pigtail one. That one we're not going to use because well, it's slightly less efficient than that one. We just keep it because well, we're just going to change the view maybe later to H2A. It needs well hello cam. If we might need to upgrade to a well to cam to a GPU that has both. So E8 or N plus a 6 pin or 2 8 pins or whatever. So we're obviously going to use the single one. And then that's SATA cable over there. That's also being used. And there's also a 6 pin. I'm going to say dual SATA, and there's Molex, and so on and so forth. SATA is obviously always pigtailed because that's important actually. Because I do not need so much power. I mean, there's just 6 pins just sufficient, or 6 pin power supply thing plugged to power 3 Molex. But Molex is still a little more powerful than SATA is, because that's why we have a 4 pigtail thing coming off a single 6-pin. And yeah, I know they can be rated for whatever they supply. I mean, that's why pigtails are also possible with 8 pins. And that's the shorter SATA cable, also a 4. And there's also a 2 cable SATA cable as well in here. So I'm not yet sure. So we will obviously. What the fuck? Why did I? Did I type away the wrong PCIe cable? Yep, I did. So we're not going to use that one. The pigtail 8-pin. That we might exchange later on. Or should I install it already? I might generally change my opinion later on as well again. So I didn't know which one is long. We might need to adapt Molex to SATA, because we have 2 drives that are fairly far apart from each other. But they are going to be installed, not today. Then we need to copy some files as well, and support, so on and so forth. That might generally take some days still, but I will prepare everything for that. So I will just plug in everything, route all the cables there, then we just need to plug in the drives, build in mount the drives and plug them in and ready to roll. And I'm not sure which one's the long SATA cable. Well, that's up. We're not going to use the short one anyway. Right. Alright, that's good. That's the CPU power connector, the EPS connector. So we need. What the fuck? Oh, we have 2 CPU. Oh, we have 2 EPS. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's actually the problem. Then we will actually use it as well. Or the all labels. We will need it right here. Oh, that's the one. We have 2. We will use both CPU cables because we want to supply that thing with reasonable power. If it needs to draw more power, then it's totally allowed to do that. SATA, I'll just put that stuff all down here because we're not going to use it yet. PCIe. Oh, you have 2. What the? I'm confused right now. Didn't I just pack away it? Oh, they're both pigtails. Oh, don't mind me. Alright, that's not needed. Cam, please come back online. So, we're gonna pop up the case. So, this particular case here has, I think it has magnetic, or I didn't know how to remove it just yet. I will need to take a look at it later on. I will put the power supply facing downwards, so we have the intake from the bottom. The power supply, I have no idea what is there. So it will just intake from the bottom, and I'm not sure where I put these screws. So, and I locked up my seat I'll switch off my iPad because I'm not using it currently. That's pretty much it all. So there's like the small cable management holes at the back there that you can use to like properly secure the PSU. And there is also another hole. There's a new one. And there's one right bottom here. Mostly there's 4 mounting screws, and oh, that's cool. They have the hybrid mode. That's I think that's that enables it to switch off the fan or something like that. So take that away. So get that nice and tidy. So then we are gonna start off with the 24 pin. I might genuinely use those cable ties, whatever that thing is, on the cable management later on, so I'm just putting them somewhere where I do remember later on where they were. And the nice thing about the Seasonic power supplies is that they do have like serious, alright cable sleeving and nicely looking pins. And that's yeah, lots of power supplies on this developers. So oh wait, yeah, that's I should have put that through here, but it wouldn't have worked anyway. Oh, that's the whole point. Let's see, but it need to be that way. Why? Why does it need to face that way? The cable is doing some weird stuff. Oh, are you? Come on. Hello. No, it's the right way around. I was just like, is it the wrong way around? No, it was totally the right way around. Or is that because it's on the... Does the camera do that? Oh, it was totally info before. They're all cut from the top, and we're gonna flip over the top. Put this there. Hopefully go over there. I don't know what I'm in the white bed. I know you cannot see. I just realized. So there's a PCIe cable. So that might be EPS. Yes. totally is. So mostly you route these ones right top here. And then you're just plugging them in. Alright, I'm not sure which way around. Come on! EPS 1. So, first part of the 4-pin. Oh, it's actually done right, you have plugged in both at the same time. I think Seasonic even started making power supplies. Cases. I was looking at the power supply, and then I just hit power supply. Way over. Say hello. Are you serious? Sorry as you do not see anything, I'm just getting why do these things not these power connectors not feature that connecting will do that. Alright, EPS 1 is connected. It's a little better. So, there's also another EPS connector that we might need, that we would like to connect, because I do want to supply the CPU with enough power. If it needs the power, it can draw it. That's whole point. It would not need the 4-pin, the additional 4-pin, but they're gonna do it anyway. So we're just gonna put that through here, and let the cable drop down there. And I or it didn't get the wrong way around. So there's someone. I want to turn it around that way. It's a new tech. Okay, the cooling configuration, I'm happy with that. But didn't I just? Oh, I did it. I routed it correctly, and then I messed it up. Alright, I need to plug in the secondary one. Yep, I did it right. Alright. So you might genuinely not see anything. But up here there's the cables. Maybe turn it around even more. There's the cables right up here somewhere. And yeah, they're now hanging out the back, and then I'm just gonna put them right over the top, and then I'm gonna worry about them later. So, front panel, Then I think we will route the not that one. Why is it even out here? Where's the PCIe power? Right. That band's gotta go straight through the hole here, and then by the way I should install the GPU. And yeah. So we're just first gonna install the GPU. So we're gonna need to take off that one and the one below. And then we need to screw in the other screws again as well, because I don't do everything. Alright. These two ones we're currently not gonna be needing. And then, well, we have the GTX 1660 from the MSI GeForce GTX 1660 Super Ventus XSOC that was already used in the previous build they had, which was a build that had a terrible GPU, GTX 745, and then Flight Sim launched, and then he got himself a new GPU, and that I suggested for him to get because well, it was pretty good GPU get already, and I mean it was very great value. That's undeniably the case. But not anymore today, but it's, I mean, still it's today no GPU is a good value, so I'm just gonna force it in there. All right. And second screw goes through here. Alright. Heading it down. So, to be honest, actually that's the one of the first custom built PCs my dad had ever. He originally was building these PCs for himself, but then like about 15 or 20 years ago he stopped and started buying pre-builds. And now I convinced him to buy a custom PC, and I got just a message I should check out real quick. And I should end the stream right soon, very soon. I'll just run the PCIe power, and then I will come back in about 1 or 1.5 an hour. You will see another stream where we finish up this build here and get Windows installed. I already have that drive, which with Windows on it, somewhere at the back there. I do not know where exactly it is, but I know that it is down here. So, obviously, all these hard drive cages. With all these hard drive cages here obviously missing, we have way less room to do some cable management. We can tuck everything in behind the motherboard tray, but we need to think about that there's a SATA SSD which is going to fit into the two slots at the back here. We're not going to install that today, but most likely. And I'm going to tell my dad to just copy everything that they need. Actually, that wouldn't even matter because we could just throw in a drive, get the Firefox to and add in whatever browser they're using. I know they're using Firefox because I convinced them to use Firefox because I'm a Firefox kid. Whatever. Yeah, because Firefox is best. Don't judge me. You can have a different opinion. I do not judge you either. Yeah. I'm just using Firefox because I switched ages ago, and then I'm just like, and then I just decided to stick to Firefox, and yeah, I've stuck to Firefox ever since. And I think that's not even the best tool to do it through. Nope, that's not. I got it through here. No. Nope. And that has to be the best hole. Like that. And we'll check the pin out and layout. Yeah, like that. So, and with that, we're going to end that first stream for today, and actually my first stream on this channel in total. I'm gonna just leave everything as it is, just switch off everything that I do not need, and then I will catch you back in an hour or an hour and a half to complete this build, manage all the cables, and get everything else sorted. Alright, so I'm going to switch back on my iPad so that I can moderate everything from here. So I'm just going to switch to my layouts. We have one viewer actually. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that you stuck to the stream for so long, or just yeah. But thanks for watching, and check out the links. I have links in the description where you can also let me build your PC. I'm getting more and more used to, like, this case. I do really like to build. I like to build in this case. It's a fairly decent case. But I have also some other suggestions for you if you have, if you want to get a PC. I can pretty much configure a PC for whatever your budget is. I don't think that it will be a great PC if you're going for $500. I cannot guarantee for that, because I do know that PC components tend to be very expensive. Like this processor here costs $450, plus the motherboard of about $170. Yeah, and also power supply, etc. A real cheap PC build you can get for about $500 if you let it be built by me. Yeah, and later on we'll also just finish up everything that is left over, do all the cable management. That will take about 1.5 to 2 hours, and then I will catch back you with you in 1 to 1.5 hours. See ya.